I'm actually excited to get into this episode, man, because, this understanding is one of the first understandings I came to understand, and it was further solidified by one of my mentors. And I don't really talk to the brother anymore, too much really. I guess, life happens, people get busy, and, so the story goes. But, when it comes to this, episode, I'm private now, part 3, real money. Real money is very important. And the concept, understanding the concept and implementing that knowledge, to me, is one of the foundations, if not the foundation, of perpetuating multi-generational wealth and protecting purchasing power, as well as principle. And, I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but real money is very, very important. I would say, knowing what real money is and actively, exchanging into real money and getting your hands on real money goes a long way for mind state. And what I mean by that is we have a lot of stress in our lives. We have a lot going on. We have a lot of responsibilities. We have a lot of people pushing. We have a lot of people pulling. And, at the same time, we also have, our own issues. And one of the main issues that we deal with, and that a lot of people deal with, is the stress of not feeling stable or secure in their finances. And knowing the difference between real money and artificial money is paramount in getting to a position to where you feel a sense of financial stability. And when it comes to financial stability, you start off with a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you get into a month, then you get into 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. And sometimes it takes you 2 years, 1 year, 5 years to get to 8 months. And what I mean by financial stability to me, being financially stable, is having at least, I would say, 6 to 8 months minimum of expenses set aside in real money. So if you completely lost your job, if you got fired, if you got laid off, whatever, you would not be freaking out about how you're going to pay your bills, how you're going to pay the mortgage, how you're going to pay the rent, because you know that you have a savings set aside for this specific situation. So being financially secure is something most of us don't have, and we don't understand, and we've never been there. And we don't really know how to get there. And then some people feel that they're financially secure and then realize, come a recession or something, that they're not. They lost, hey man, what I thought was my wealth of $80, $100, $1 million, $4 million actually ended up being cut in half almost. So now I got to keep working. Now I got to go to work or go back to work. Now I got to scale my lifestyle down because I wasn't prepared. This, as far as I'm concerned, is all rooted in the same misconception of what is money and what is real money. So, where am I going to start? Here, let me start from this. Imagine a world where we don't have vehicles, automobiles, private motor conveyances, I don't care what you call it, man. Cars, trucks, SUVs, whatever. Maybe horses and carts and, so on and so forth. Or let's keep it today. Let's say that, imagine a world where, in the country, they exist, where there's roads or certain, places that you travel to and from that is not safe to go from place to place. Nowadays, we have electronic accounts, debit cards, so on and so forth. I remember when travelers checks were heavy, and then they were heavy on the fraud side. But ultimately, it's easier to picture it, kind of back in the day without vehicles, and planes and stuff. You're going somewhere and you got to travel on the road, and there's bandits on the road. And to me, this is easy to understand where this stuff came from. You know what I mean? So there's bandits on the road, and bandits frequent the road. You know what I mean? So when it comes to that, you got to find ways in which to, keep your valuables safe and secure. But also, you got to travel. Maybe you have business to do. Maybe someone that is sick or something like that. I don't know, man. There's things going on, so you got to travel. And you have wealth. You travel with wealth because where you want to go, you want to still maintain your lifestyle, your quality of life that you have where you came from. But there's bandits and stuff. But there's certain authorities that are respected. Maybe in your area, locally, they have a bank or something equivalent. But you also understand that they're everywhere. And they honor their instruments. So before you go on this road, you stop at this bank and you trade in your real money, and they give you a certificate. But they also take your name and all your information and so on and so forth. So if you lose the certificate, if you give them the correct information, they will replace it. You know what I'm saying? So they give you the certificate it has value at the other destination when you get there. So if you get robbed on the way, you have a better chance of hiding a piece of paper and getting away with it. And if it does get stolen, if you hurry up and get to one of their spots and report it, you can get your value back. And even if you lose your value, a lot of times they would allow you to put insurance on the instruments. And these are called instruments. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, banks started getting into this and issuing instruments. Really easy is the gold rush, what we understand of the gold rush in North America, where, miners were putting on deposit their gold at certain banks, and they were being issued notes because, people would rob them, or they get drunk and get robbed, or so on and so forth. But then the bankers noticed that they weren't coming in to get their gold, that they were actually exchanging the certificates, which is called, a type of negotiation. And this would lead to fractional reserve banking. They started issuing more certificates than what gold they had because they worked out numbers to where only these number of people will come in, or depositors will come in, request their entire deposit. Most of them, deal in certificates. So this is what led to fractional reserve banking. You know what I mean? At the top of, at the top of a dollar or any, dollar bill, $50 bill, $100 bill, whatever. It says note. If you look at it, it'll say note. They all say notes, man. It says Federal Reserve note. Before I get into that real quick, though, let's see what the Constitution for the United States says with regards to coin or tender and payment of debts. Let's be specific. Article 1, Section 10, no state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything gold and silver coin, tender and payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts. That's my favorite part. Or grant any title of nobility. So, Constitution said gold and silver, right? So, but this, it says Federal Reserve note. So what is a note? Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. quite simply states a note is a unilateral instrument containing and express an absolute promise of signer to pay to a specified person or order or bearer a definite sum of money at a specified time. What is money? It's not a note because note references money. It says the note is an instrument containing an absolute promise. So a note is a promise to pay. You pay with gold and silver. Now, a silver certificate, we had them back in the day, silver certificate. At the top it says silver certificate. This certifies that there is on deposit in the Treasury of the United States of America $1 in silver payable to the bearer on demand. Didn't that say note, signer to pay a specified person or order or bearer a definite sum of money at a specified time? What is that specified time? When I take this silver certificate in and give it to you and tell you I want that dollar, that's the time. It's the issuance of a demand, or, actually I'm looking at discharge because a note is a debt. A promise is a debt. Let's just be clear. A promise is a debt. It's a debt. If you owe me money and I owe Yusuf money, you just pay Yusuf. That's an exchange of promises, man. What do we got here? Where was I at? An instrument is a note if it is a promise, and it is a draft if it is an order. If an instrument falls within the definition of both a note and a draft, a person entitled to enforce the instrument may treat it as either. So an instrument is a note if it is a promise. This is out of the Uniform Commercial Code. This is UCC 3-104 in the definition, UCC 3-104E. I don't know. I've been studying this since 2014. So that's the year that I got printed off. So the Uniform Commercial Code says a note is a promise. Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, says a note is a promise. So it's Federal Reserve notes are not money. That's the first thing. Mind state. Federal Reserve notes are not money. Federal Reserve promises are not money. It's like money in the bank, I guess, if the promisor is trustworthy and noble, or they can be like nothing. I can sell dirt and get more money from some promises, or than I can get from some promises. Federal Reserve notes A. Number one. It is not money. Please understand the difference between money and currency. I'm not going to really get into currency beyond to say currency is what sovereign governments say is equal to money or on par with money or can be issued and by the government and exchanged within that country as money. And the government will say, you got to take this. If you don't, you're going out of business. Keep it up, we'll throw you in jail. But Federal Reserve notes are not money. It's not money. Just look. It's not money. It's not money. You're not getting money if you're getting checks. You're not getting money if you're getting direct deposits. You're not getting money. It's not money. So you can't pay yourself. And that's the next point of mind state I want to get into. Pay yourself first. Anytime you come across any type of energy in the form of tangible assets or perceived assets, such as certificates or notes, you know what I mean? Or, real assets, pay yourself first before it goes back into commerce and is exchanged or traded away for something else. Pay yourself first. In order to pay yourself, you must understand that paying is with money. And we need to understand what money is. And it is not notes. I'm going to keep saying that. It is not notes. Money is not notes. Cash. Federal Reserve notes, they are not money. You're not getting money, man. You're not getting money at all. So when you get these notes, you need to understand what they are. Look at them like hot potatoes. And if you don't, you're looking at it all wrong. You're not understanding the game. One of the main rules of the game is that there is no money in the game. It's not what's going on. It's not what's being exchanged. It's not what's changing around. What is money you can obtain with what is not money at a specific, exchange rate of certain notes. But it is not money. There is no money. Now we're dealing with notes. First and foremost, you got to understand these notes were created by a certain entity that owns them and copywrote those. That's how people get in trouble for counterfeiting. Think about it. How can you get in trouble for counterfeiting unless they have a specific claim? What is the claim? That they have the rights to these instruments and you are creating them without their express permission. And there are specific laws in place to penalize those individuals and organizations who participate in counterfeit of currencies. Hands down. What it means when you partake of a benefit of the use of these Federal Reserve notes, to me, is another topic as well. It should be considered by all those who consider themselves seekers. But the notes are not money. What is money? Gold and silver. Gold and silver is money. And the Constitution says that gold has been money since the beginning of the recording of time. Now, there have been other times where salt acted as money, different things acted as currency or money in certain, civilizations or periods of recorded, quote, history. But gold and silver has been money since before. Gold is what is known as an asset that has intrinsic value, which means the substance that makes up the item or the thing is what is valuable. You cannot say that about a note. The paper is not that valuable. The ink is not that valuable. If you think so, go take a dollar bill and try to go buy some ink. It's not going to happen. Why? Because there's certain currency laws with regards to that, price laws, and so on and so forth, to where $1 bill is not enough. But you could take a $50 bill and go get some ink. To me, that's weird. When you get to a certain, level, it gets weird, but then it gets kind of cool, and then it's weird again, I guess. You know what I mean? But either way, to me, it's just weird. But ultimately, notes are not money. Gold and silver is money. You have to understand what money is. Now, they appreciate in value, but to me, they do not appreciate it. It just looks like it because the currency or notes that it takes to get these items are steadily depreciating, which is a lead-in to the next point I want to make, which is depreciation. I already said that these people, these organizations, this government can put people in jail for counterfeiting their private script, their Federal Reserve notes. They control them. They own them. They created them. So therefore, they control the rules with how you interact with them, as well as the value of them. And the Federal Reserve Bank has a committee, which is known as the Federal Open Market Committee, FOMC. And that committee, which runs the Federal Reserve, is made up of specific board members and then shareholders and whatever. They push for 2% inflation on the currency, inflating the currency. So if you understand what inflation is and reverse it, inflation deflates value, which means 2%, 5 years, that would be 10%, 50 years. That's a lot. Look, bottom line is you're losing 2% of the purchasing power of the instruments that you're using every day, year over year. And it lets you know that off top. Now, are you gaining over 2% in your earning power year over year? Probably not. And the system is set up this way. It's set up to extract energy from humans, from man and woman. And it's done very cleverly. And we need to understand it. And we need to understand the rules of the game. And we also need to understand what is and what is not. What is illusory? And be able to point out, that's illusion. That's fiction. We'll talk about it, but I want you to know we're talking about fiction. And a lot of times when I point out fictions to people, people don't like it because they realize how much they fictionalize their lives. But they push for 2% inflation on the currency per year, which means the purchasing power is dropping by 2%, which is what the quote. It's going faster than that because, it's connected not only to the economy, but it's also connected, throughout, the globe. It's globally. So over time, you're losing purchasing power. How can you save and save your wealth and put your family forward when the money that you're saving and the currency that you're saving in is steadily depreciating over time? You're going to save yourself directly into poverty. It just depends on how many generations it'll take. It depends on how much wealth you have. If you don't have the correct knowledge, if you don't know what real money is, you will not have real money. And you will not have a solid foundation. So, you need to understand when it comes to inflation, you see inflation, they describe inflation with regards to prices for goods and services going up. The reason why prices and goods and services are going up is still the same good or service. It's just the currency you use to obtain the good or services is devaluing. It's worth less. That's why prices go up. It's an inverse causation. It's hands down. Research what I'm saying. Don't believe what I'm saying. I could be absolutely, literally, certifiably mad, like insane in my membrane. So please research what I'm saying. But what is the inverse causation of inflation in prices? It's deflation of the value of notes, the notes that you're holding, the notes that you use every day that you think is money. And they use those notes that are depreciating to buy further depreciating assets. And we wonder why we're broke. And then we have credit cards and stuff that have interest. So you're paying interest on money that is depreciating. Think about that for a second. Over time, because most people carry balances, month over month, a lot of us year over year, we're paying interest on so-called, quote, money, and the value of that money is depreciating over time. Whew. It's a cold world and it's a cold system. If you understand how the system works, you don't become a victim. My job that I feel like that I was given was to help us become less victimized. And to be able to stand up and do our dance without anybody being able to stop us and not really caring if they like the dance that I'm doing. Because most people around us, they don't know. They have no clue. So what is real money? Gold and silver, appreciating assets. I'm gonna say gold and silver. Now I'm gonna say gold for wealth preservation, like to preserve your wealth. Like boom, you know what I'm saying? Core holdings should be in gold and silver. I mean gold. Silver, same thing. Wealth preservation. You know, look just like gold, but you can use silver more for, you know, exchanging, bartering, whatever, in, you know, crisis scenario or in real life. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people accept gold and silver. You'd be surprised. You ask them and they're like, yo, you told the silver? They look at you really weird and be like, yeah, I accept gold and silver. Of course. If they're smart. If they're not smart, hey, who knows, man? You know, hey. Gold and silver. Appreciate. What does appreciate mean? The word appreciate means to raise in value. Hands down. Layman's definition, man. Like, that's not textbook. That's not Black's Law definition. Straight up definition, man. It's to grow in value. The value becomes more and more over time. Depreciation. The value becomes less and less over time. One of the biggest things that depreciate is cars, man. Especially brand new cars. Look, the biggest favor you can do for your estate, for your children, for yourself, for your wallet, for the types of food that you can buy over time is to never buy a brand new vehicle. Ever. If you have to, get one that comes off a 2-year lease or a 3-year lease and cop that bad boy. But never, ever, ever buy a brand new car. It is, to me, is the most ridiculous thing you can do. Unless your company can afford it and it doesn't affect your family's quality of life. But even still, it's like, you know what I'm saying? I just don't. It's one of the worst investments that you can make is in a vehicle. Unless you have a business and you use the vehicle to further generate more business, it increases your footprint, you can service more of a customer base. Cool, that's an investment. But the vehicle itself is not going to gain in value, fam. It will bring you value through the proper use of it through your corporate structure and proper administration, but it's not going to gain in value over time. Now, we have vehicles that are valuable, and these are like classic cars, some of these supercars. You know, there's a car, I think it's a McLaren F1. I think it was like $1 million when they made it. You can't get one for less than like 10 right now, 10 million. Now you got to counter, you know, there's deflation in currency, so I understand that. But still, even if you know, consider inflation, it's still, man, that thing appreciated in value. Classic cars like old Chevys, you know, old Impalas, a lot of these things you can grab and, you know, put a couple $1,000 into these cars and really, you know, force value into these things. Real estate, appreciating asset, collectible art. You get certain types of monies. You can buy, you know, a Monet or a Picasso or something like that. Make sure, you know, it's certified or whatever. Get insurance on it. But, you know, those things increase in value over time. Those are assets. Anything else is a liability. I like what Robert Kiyosaki said. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. People say real estate can be an asset or a liability. It depends on the type of real estate and how you know, functionally administer the real estate. And people are like, oh, you know, just single family homes. Hey, man, depending on the situation, I see people with single family homes that they rent and then pop off and do Airbnb and bang them joints. How you gonna make like 4 G's a month? I mean, look. Look. You can make money. You can bring wealth into your estate. Ultimately, is what I'm saying. It's only hard because we don't know how. That's what I'm saying. And I'm showing y'all how right now. The main thing you can do, you know, dollar cost average is what it's called. It's called dollar cost average. Whatever your budget, if it's $20 a month, $14 a week, I don't care what it is. Some of y'all can do $250 a month. Some of y'all can do $1,000. Yeah, hey, whatever. Do your dance, man. You know what I'm saying? Do your dance. But whatever that is, make sure that you can budget it and it works. And it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to take away from anything. Maybe some lattes or some Burger King. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Those things that you can, sacrifice. Other than that, don't let it affect your lifestyle, man. Because if it doesn't affect your lifestyle, you have a higher probability of continuing the exercise and making it, more than an exercise, actually a habit. But whatever it is, $50, $20 a month, I don't care what it is, go buy some gold or silver. If you can't buy gold, buy silver. Silver's a great value right now. You can get an ounce of silver for around $20 right now. Go buy gold and silver. What are those? The star symbols on the keyboard. Star symbol. When you read and you see the star symbol, and that means go and look at the footnote. You know what I'm saying? You're going to go out here. You're going to look online. Be careful. Think privacy. I do not recommend you buy anything online. They got your address. They got your credit card. They got your zip code. What the what? You need to get up. You need to go find precious metals dealers. I recommend in your city, go find the spots that say we buy gold. They be gouging. Never sell to those fools or exchange out, I should say, to those fools. Ever. Those we buy gold fools. They gouge. They're going to gouge. Oh, I'm going to give you melt value minus tricky percent. You know what I'm saying? What percent? Tricky. Like, look, man, I ain't got time for this. But when you buying, you have at least the peace of mind to know that these fools ain't really grabbing no fake stuff. They got things tested. They've already been got if they've been in business more than like a year or so. So they learn their lesson and all that. But go there, go there. And then haggle with them fools. They can be like spot price. Like, look, man, spot price is paid by the first consumer, man. You didn't pay spot price when you got this. Why are you going to charge spot price? Look, man, if you know this stuff, you can get deals, man. If you didn't catch what I said, man, download it, rewind this joint. Something. But that's where you buy from. You know what I mean? That's where I buy from. And if you got to sell, you go to a different spot, man. And if you're going to exchange precious metals into another precious metal because you're dealing with ratios or something, go to a different spot. So if you exchanging, buying and selling, or exchanging out, you need 3 different spots. If you buying and just exchanging, you need 2 different spots. Don't buy and sell, quote, at the same spot, man. But get up and go do it. I would suggest you do it in cash, man. That's just me, though. I'm not giving you legal advice, man. I can't do that. I'm not a lawyer. I don't have the authority. I'm just, just hollering at you real quick. We chopping it up. But you're also going to run into these, these terms, and they're going to be like, ooh, numismatic. Let me tell you something. Look, this is 31 USC 5112. Y'all need to check this out, B. People say there's no real money in the United States. That's not true. Money and Finance, Subchapter 4, Money. Chapter 51, Coins and Currency. Subchapter 2, General Authority. Secretary of the Treasury may mint and issue only the following coins. A dollar coin that is 1.043 inches in diameter. A half-dollar coin that is 1.205 inches in diameter. $quarter coin, 0.955. A dime coin, 0.705, and a 5-cent coin, 0.835. A $50 coin, 32.7 millimeters. $25 coin, 27 millimeters. A $10 coin, 22 millimeters. $5 coin, 16.5 millimeters. $50 coin that is of an appropriate size and thickness and determined by the Secretary, weighs 1 ounce and contains 99.99% pure gold. A $25 coin of the appropriate size and thickness as determined by the Secretary that weighs 1 troy ounce and contains 0.9995 fine palladium. United States coins shall have the inscription, "In God We Trust." The Albert size. Each coin shall have the inscription, "Liberty." I'm going to jump down here to, what we got here? F. Nope, my bad. Yeah, F. Silver coins. Oh, by the way, what am I reading? American Eagle Gold and Silver Coin Act. Numismatic items. For the purpose of Section 5132 of this titles, all coins minted under subsection C shall be considered numismatic items. For the purpose, I'm going down to 3G under here. For the purpose of subsection 532A1 of this table, all coins mentioned under subsection C of this section shall be considered to be numismatic items. I'm hopping over to 3. For the purpose of section 5132A1 of this title, all coins minted under this subsection shall be considered to be numismatic items. Designated recipient organization defined. For purpose of this paragraph, the term designated recipient organization means any organization designated under any provision of law as a recipient of any surcharge imposed on the sale of any numismatic item. So this is Congress right here. Y'all can check this out, man. Check it out. 31 U.S.C. 5112. And then check out the corresponding resolution and that Congress put out. I highly suggest you do. It's a good read. It's very, very informative. Bottom line is, and y'all can trust but verify what I'm about to say. You only hear this word numismatic. And these fools out here selling these coins that are numismatic. All right. I'm going to tell you this. Number one, the only coin that Congress recognizes as numismatic is the American Eagle silver coin and the American Eagle gold coin. Any other use of the word numismatic outside of that is not technically a numismatic coin. What these coin dealers will tell you, numismatic coin, it's an ounce of gold, but it was, from 1894, and that's when, we found it. And before that, it's from the time of ancient Egypt, and therefore, the history of the item raises the value. Look, me personally, I do not deal with that. I suggest you don't either. I'm not giving you legal advice. You grown. You grown. Free will if you're not grown. I do not care about those coins. I don't care about none of that stuff. I'm looking at the specific content of the item, which is gold and silver. In 1984, the IRS proposed legislation that numismatic coins were non-confiscatable because the elite in this country were, sending their money to other jurisdictions, their gold, and, purchasing gold from other countries, really, and then holding it in other jurisdictions. They saw an exodus of money from this country, and they figured it out. That, the wealthy, those who knew, those who have an understanding and have knowledge, were very adverse to obtaining, gold in the United States, let alone holding it in the United States due to the confiscation. So in 1984, the IRS proposed legislation proposing that numismatic coins are non-confiscatable, and then the next year, 1985, Congress passed the American Eagle Gold and Silver Coin Act. Well, I think they did the gold one in 85, and I think in 86 they did the Silver Eagle one or something. I don't know, man. I don't remember. Because millions and millions of dollars were fleeing the country to hold real money. So the government created the American Eagle Silver and Gold Coin Program. It's the only program that's not funded by taxpayers in the United States. Did you know that? Man, look, I could just be making this stuff up, just sitting here and just thinking of stuff and just saying it. Look into what I'm saying. Research for your own, man. Just look into it. Don't take my word for it. But real money, what is real money? Gold and silver is real money. Now, when it comes to real money, we're looking at savings. You should not have a savings account where you have like cash in the savings account, credits or whatever. Look, man, you save in gold and silver. We don't invest in gold and silver. That's a big thing. Like, if you're buying gold and silver, you should not pay attention at all to how much the price is fluctuating on the market. That's heavily manipulated. Banks have come out and admitted it, that they manipulate the precious metals futures markets and stuff like that. Heavily manipulated. And B, it doesn't matter. That's with regards to currency. That's the trick. It's the trick. You should be dollar cost averaging whatever you can do on a regular basis, continuing to buy gold and silver over time. And that will eventually give you that foundation of security to where you have 6 months, 9 months, a year in expenses represented by gold and silver. Now, number one rule is you don't tell people you have gold and silver. Smart guy, smart lady, don't tell anyone. And I know when you first get into gold and silver, you want to talk about stuff. We get excited about stuff. Don't play yourself, man. Let's be real. Keep it to yourself, man. We going private, right? Come on now. There's actions, demonstration, and thought, mentality that goes into this private dance. So we do not invest in gold and silver. We save in gold and silver. We protect purchasing power. An ounce of gold 100 years ago pretty much gets you what you can get with it today. You know what I'm saying? A nice suit, nice dinner, so on and so forth. They've done these studies, man. Look at it. You're going to preserve your purchasing power. You hold them $100 bills, 10 years later, you're not going to be able to get with that $100 bill that you can get today because it's going to depreciate over time. We need to understand this. The same thing with your stock accounts, your 401ks, your IRAs. I'm sorry to tell you, but unless you're consistently over time, overall, at least making 2% on those investments, plus whatever taxes and fees that are going along with any type of, payouts or whatever, you're losing money. And people don't think about that. When I start taking distributions, there may be some penalties, there may be some fees. If 401ks, I think you pay taxes on the 401k contributions. No, you don't pay taxes on 401k contributions. Traditionally, you only pay you pay taxes on the distributions when you receive the money at whatever freaking rate the taxes is going to be when you retire. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to take that into consideration too. But most people don't think about, the fees, the penalties, and actually the taxes that are going to be imposed on the retirement. So not only 2%, you got to beat the market. You got to gain 2%, and you got to cover, all the taxes and the fees when you start taking distributions or when you cash that joint out because you have an emergency. It doesn't make sense when you put all the numbers down. It doesn't. It's a trick. 401ks is a trick, man. Straight up. Oh, we're going to match your contribution. But if anything happens, oops, you lost 40%, but we don't have any responsibility to your retirement. Well, pensions, they had to pay regardless. The corporate company goes having problems, man. These fools were suing these fools. Suing the company. Sue them into death. We don't care if you're going to go over. You better pay us. You go under, go over, we don't care. Sue them to death, fam. Can't do that no more. All principal is subject to market loss. That's the disclosure on all these 401ks, man. Ooh, diversify your assets. All of these so-called paper assets and all 401ks, these equities, these futures, all this stuff, man. All of it. It's all denominated in a currency that's notes, man. U.S. dollars notes, man. I promise. Let's do it about it, man. It's kind of ugly. And I'm not one to really, get down. It's not about being negative. This is about information. I want y'all to be informed. So if you have a savings account, cash it out, man. And go buy gold and silver. Don't cash it all out. you know. But I look at currency as, you know, how corporations deal with, you know, money and stuff. It's for service and debt. It's for the purchase of goods and services to, you know, promote the business, to keep it moving forward, keep it alive, quote, and everything else, you know, we go into, you know, savings and we go into investments. You keep the cash account lean. To me, it just makes sense. Now, you want to talk about investments? Maybe I'll do another episode on private investments, or maybe you should check out. I think that was that episode 2 on private now. What part 2? But maybe I'll jump into some private investments. But I really do want to go on what real money is. And for us, what we got to do, we just got to start buying silver. So, you know, get American Eagles, man. Irish proposed legislation that numismatic coins are not confiscatable. The only coins designated numismatic by Congress are gold for coins, man. I think it's smart. I think it's very smart. You know, if you're in trustee training, do the resolution to where, you know, the stuff is owned by the trust, man. Now you have even more protections. Now we got a non-confiscatable asset that is held by, you know, a non-resident alien. It has contract protections. Speaking of trustee training, if y'all are interested in trustee training, email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. You know, implementing these facts and these truths when it comes to private life, private administration, private business, private savings, private wealth is important. Knowing the facts, implementing facts, knowing the procedures, implementing them. But knowledge is one and two. They go hand in hand. Two sides of the same cord. Same coin. Sorry. You have the knowledge. You apply the knowledge. It's very important. But it gets lost with a lot of people in, you know, the day-to-day. But this day-to-day is engineered to spin you and keep you and your family at a certain level that is below other certain families that think that those families, and just because their bloodline is better than you and your family and your bloodline. And they impose these economic principles and constructs to, you know, really to oppress those who do not have a certain skill set and a certain level of information and knowledge that you can only acquire outside of the public education system, because that's what's set up.
Seconds.
I did the show on the economics of slavery, the fundamentals of economic slavery. Y'all should check that out. That's real. The Rockefellers put it down. If you understand the system, you can protect yourself from the system. A lot of people say you understand the system, you can combat the system. Look, man, you ain't getting no negative energy out of me. I'm giving this system a lot of energy, specifically a lot of negative energy. Real quick, we got about a minute left in the broadcast. We're going to go over. If you're listening online, you got to call in 424-222-5250. Otherwise, you will be cut off. 424-222-5250. But yeah, like I was saying, the way this thing is set up, we got to understand what real money is. We really do. We got to understand what promises are and how promises are expressed and what they look like when they are expressed on paper, specifically in words. Understand, you know, the implications of these promises, these notes. Understand that, you know, if you're dealing with notes, you should be dealing with them at arm's length. And if you're dealing with notes, Federal Reserve notes, through the individual, you are not dealing with notes at arm's length. No such thing as individual protections. You feel what I'm saying? Those are, what are those? What are those protections? Individual protections. Civil rights. Civil rights. Your rights of certain civility. Because you're a civilian. I ain't talking mess, man. I love y'all. I'm in the same boat as you, man. It's like you on the bow, I'm on the stern talking mess. We on the same boat, going the same way. So how can I be talking mess? I love y'all, man. I just want y'all to know what real money is, man. If you want more information with regards to how to get your hands on real money, email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. When it comes to dollar cost averaging, I think one of the easiest ways is to, grab an ounce of silver every 2 weeks. But get your hands on gold. Gold is wealth preservation. Gold is the wealthy hold their money in gold. And, in order to be wealthy, you got to start doing what the wealthy do, and eventually you'll be these individuals. So you got to start holding gold. And one of the main avenues by which I suggest that we grab gold is through Carrot Bars. And you can sign up to just be a customer. And, they hold it for you, and they'll ship it to you from Federal Express. The main thing is they don't report it, man. It's a foreign company. They don't report that stuff. Now, it'll come up on your account that you paid this company, but hey, what'd you get, man? They got all types of different products and blah, blah, blah. Substantiation. You know what I'm saying? Plausible. Plausible what? But I like that company, man, because they don't report, man. They don't report, man. And then, if you're doing it as a business, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, how they pay you is they give you this MasterCard that is a prepaid MasterCard, right? And they put the money on the MasterCard, man. And it's got, quote, your name on it and everything. And like they send it to you, fam, and you can go to ATM, put in the code, and take cash out, man. But it's denominated in euros, man, and they don't ask for a social security number. So how could they report, man? I think that's the most plain I've ever said that. But look, man, whatever you do, whatever you want to do, though, hit me up. admin@welcometothefoundation.com. Protect your wealth. Protect your assets. You know what I mean? You never know what's going to happen. You never know what type of legislation is going to be passed with regards to the individual, the LLC, your corporation. It's very important to set up your private estate. Business trust, asset protection trust, family trust. These are pivotal and very specific and important and necessary components with regards to a private estate. All of these things you will learn how to administer, create, function, transact with, contract, so on and so forth, and much more through, the Foundation's trustee training. And if you're interested in said trustee training, email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com, and I will holler at you. You know what I'm saying? We're about to go to the phone lines, man. I'm pretty much finished with what I was saying. If you're going to pay yourself first, I do want to round that out. And if you're going to pay yourself, you can only pay yourself in gold and silver, man. Straight up. So you ain't getting paid, man. When you get a check, man, you ain't getting paid, man. You're getting tricked. It's not. You can make it payday, but there's an extra step you got to make. And, I suggest you make that extra step. You realize technically how much you're being paid. Roman soldiers were paid a dime a day. 1 denarius, a silver coin, a day, man. If you subtract, your time, your travel gas, your car insurance, your transportation, just let's say that, your food, your clothing, your rent, and you subtract all of that from what you make every 2 weeks or every month, and you see what you have left. Like, to me, that's how much you make minus expenses, yo. And that's not even investments. We're not even talking about recreation. I'm not talking about your Netflix bill, that they automatically take. I'm not talking about none of that stuff, man. That's really how much we make, man. Put it in perspective. Pay yourself, man. Pay yourself in gold and silver. I suggest you make a real strong foundation in Eagles, fam. And get with me, trustee training, so you can title that property into a private contractual entity. That's, is constitutionally protected contract and, doesn't owe its existence to legislation. So therefore it's not governed by legislation. Think about it. With that being said, I'm going to take like maybe 1 or 2 calls, man. I'm kind of tired, if y'all can't tell. I'm not really tired. I'm kind of exhausted. Got a lot of stuff going on, man. But I love y'all, man. We good. Y'all my family. I appreciate the energy. I can feel the energy, man. We got a lot of callers, man. But let me take this caller. Let me holler at my guy. 718-8092. Peace. What's your name? Where you calling?
Hey, peace. Sorry, this is Dal called from New York. Hey, so 3 questions. All right, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you. How are you?
You're welcome. I'm okay. 3 questions. Okay, so like you got like some funds, like some stocks and stuff like that. It can be transferred, like, cause so like I got something, it's almost 2,000, but when they finish taxing it, it's about like maybe like 1,500. So after they finish taxing it, I'm only gonna get 800. So if I like convert that 1,500 into silver now, they'll get less. And when it comes to taxing it, can I say, well, okay, tax it like on the silver side, like I'm selling it, and you buy it at that price? Is that like possible? Because now they buying silver from me. I'm trying to.
First and foremost, I am not saying to cash out your retirement. Everybody listening, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to put it into perspective that all of those retirement accounts are subject to market loss. So I'm not saying that it's a lot of fees when you do that, man. It's not worth it, I don't think. But if you're set on doing it, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I wanted to turn everything into silver. I wanted to like buy silver. If they have silver there someplace, buy the silver.
What I would suggest is you inquire as to the type of account that you're dealing with, whether or not the account can be self-directed. If it's not a self-directed account, then you want to convert it or look into converting it to a self-directed account. And self-directed
it's self-directed. Yeah, I can go with somebody else. They say I can.
Okay, so if you can self-direct, you can put precious metals in an IRA as long as the metals are held by a third party, like a depository or something. That's the only thing I would suggest.
All right.
Just
or even like carry bars, maybe
stocks and bonds or something. No. They got to be like certain coins.
Okay.
So the IRS, it has to be like silver eagles. It can be maples. I don't know. It's certain. It's only certain types of precious metals, coins.
Maples are Canada. Maples are Canada or something like that. Okay. And then the next thing is like I know like when they have I think it's the cruise missile. I think they have so much it's made for so much silver, and I was wondering like I forgot how much they put in the missiles, and I figure like that when it explodes and they do whatever they do with it, they get rid of it or they dump it. I don't know if like the missiles before that. I was like, okay, if they like they test in or they went overseas and they bomb someplace. And I wonder if them people like, if they like, getting that silver, going treasure hunting, getting that silver, and once it like, that bomb goes off, how far does that silver disperse, and as people retracted that silver. Yeah, have you heard anything like that?
No, I feel like a lot of that stuff is destroyed. Man. A lot of silver that's used industrially, whether it's used to make for the industrial applications of creating missiles or, whether it's computer components or something like that, a lot of that stuff is destroyed. You don't really get it back.
So when it makes computer components and stuff like that, so you saying like there's very little left over after you try to like get it from like the components.
Right.
How
unless
people take it out of TVs, out of iPhones.
Right.
Okay.
So that's the main reason what you just said, because there's silver, platinum, palladium, and gold, I think, in phones. So that's the main reason why Apple did the trade-in program. They give you a certain amount of money if you trade in your phone, because they have a machine that they created and patented that specifically removes the precious metals out the phone, disassembles them, and takes out the precious metals.
Well, they talk about the precious metal, but like it's recyclable. A lot of that phone, not only the metals, it's glass recyclable, it's plastic recyclable, and so it's a lot of stuff. that is recyclable. A lot of people you have like the
That's why they do that trading.
Yeah, because that's money in there. They think about the 5 cent and 10 cent deposit. But what about all the other bottles that that people's not recycling, but the other guys are recycling, but yeah, a lot of money in that. But somebody else's garbage, somebody else's gold.
Yeah. You said you had some other question. What was your other question?
Oh yeah, that was the 3. Actually, the second one was like it was like the one was kind of like 2-2 because I wanted to like transfer it and then I wanted to sell them at the market price. If you want to tax me and you want to take some from me, well, okay, you can get that money, but now you're going to tax it for me purchasing silver. You're not just going to like, once you like my silver, however I get it, they're going to have to pay me that. So now I figure I would gain instead of lose if I didn't have that silver.
I mean, what I would do, okay, look, if we agree that there's going to be some sort of market recession or, devaluing of the market and the economy, i.e. through the currency somehow, right? What I suggest is to, self-direct, keep the account, self-direct it, put gold and silver in the account, figure it out, get it done, and then hold it. Because when the currency falls, then the gold and silver value is going to raise according to the currency. And this is for everyone listening. Especially if you got money and you can do this. You buy gold and silver, wait for the market to go down, the currency to drop, so the value of your gold and silver goes up, which means you get more Federal Reserve notes that, when you for the gold and silver than you paid to get them. So you get more notes. So the value went up. You exchange out of gold and silver at that time and pay off debt with depreciated currency. That's the only thing I would say, man.
Okay.
All this cashing out and the payment in the fees and stuff, you're making me uncomfortable, man. I'm not suggesting.
Yeah, I really don't want to cash out. I don't have to cash out, but if I want to.
Understand what real money is, get a hold of the account where you can self-direct it and put real money in the account. Tell them you want to hold gold and silver. You want to self-direct the, precious metals IRA, individual retirement account.
Oh, okay. Appreciate it, man. Love you. And
love you too, man.
I'll let you take the next caller. Okay.
Send my love to the family.
All right. Do the same for me, too.
All right, man. Thank you. Peace.
You're welcome. Peace.
Yeah. All right, y'all. I gotta go, y'all. I know. I apologize. We got more callers, but look, check this out, man. I gotta go, man. I don't usually do this, but I trust that I, put forth, quality information, and that you were able to glean, learn, understand something. I suggest that you listen to this as many times as you possibly can, because repetition is key when it comes to learning new things. Repetition is key when it comes to implementing new things. And, consistency and dedication is what, will save the nation. But no joke. I want to say peace to everyone checking out the show. Definitely want to invite you to check out welcometothefoundation.com. Sign up for the email list. Check out the PDF section. If you're into the, social media, it's over there. Make a donation. You can book a consultation all from the same spot. It's welcometothefoundation.com. I do want to say also that it's, sometimes it's tough out here, man, and sometimes, you may feel like no one has your back, but I just want to let y'all know that I have your back. I really do. And I want the best for you. And, this is why I do the shows, this is why I put out the information, this is why I'm stepping on toes and pancaking. Because, first of all, it's not my information. I didn't create it. It belongs to all of us. And second of all, it'll help us those of us who can raise our level of existence, our level of competition, our overall level of administration, level of business, level of monetization, and level of income, hands down. To me, that's important. And I don't really care about what you make or what you can get. I'm more interested in how much you keep and what you bring home to your family, and how you allow that to perpetuate. To me, that's the sign of true nobility and honor. All the other stuff is just for your ego, and you can do your ego dance over there. I don't like ego dances; they irritate me. So, with that being said, man, let's just know what real money is, real value. Slow and steady wins the race. It's not a merit. It's not a sprint. It's not even a race, man. Real talk. Everybody moves at their own space. Really, the education is the race to educate those around you, in my opinion, to what you're doing, to what's important to you, naming trustees to your estate, to certain entities, and delegating authority. But ultimately, it's time to get our stuff together. If you've been putting it off, email me. Holler at me about trustee training. Make the sacrifice that is necessary to not only put yourself forward, but put those in your circle forward, your family forward. I mean, once you get this information and implement it and your life starts to change, you're going to be able to do different things with your friends too. Maybe you'll appreciate those friendships more. Maybe you won't. But, there's a funny thing about increasing your knowledge base. It increases your value, which increases your income. And with increased income, you can do things, crazy things that embarrass your friends, like pay for the entire trip to go to Denver for the whole weekend. Flight, hotel, everything. Because why not? Because that was your homie from back in the day and never fronted on you when you didn't have money. And these things, how we show love. A lot of people show love differently. A lot of females show love through food. But, for me, I show love for, the things that I can teach you, the time that I focus and give to you and invest in you, and, the situations and experiences I can provide you. That's important to me. And being able to do such things for your family makes you feel really good. For your friends makes you feel really good. And once you get that positive cycle of energy moving, you don't want it to stop. But first, you got to start with yourself. You got to start with fundamental knowledge. And that knowledge is, number one, know what real money is. Number two, pay yourself first. With that being said, I want to say I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I really do. I appreciate y'all checking out the show every single week, just checking for me. You know what I mean? I appreciate those who, when I'm late, you call me, you text me, you email me, yo, what's going on? You good? I appreciate all of that. There's sometimes I don't respond. I want you to know I appreciate it. It makes you feel good. And those are the little things that happen when they need to that help me get through my day. So here I am trying to give back to you, help you get through your day, but throw a little icing on and help you reestablish your private estate. So I love y'all. Y'all have a great week. Enjoy yourself. 10 things you're thankful for. We don't worry about the boo-hoo, chugga, chugga, choo-choo. And I'll catch you here next time here on the Foundation on High Frequency Radio Network. Peace to the God.
High Frequency Radio.